Hi, all of my ambassadors. First of all, I want to thank you so much for joining our ambassador program. It is all designed to start being part of the change and to take the film A Racing Family when it premieres into your community. And the goals of this are one, to educate the general public that this is a big issue. Two, to educate the people who work in family court, lawyers, judges, mental health workers, psychologists, custody evaluators, that we can't just take away a parent who's fit and loving from a parent just because we think it's stressful for kids to move between two, or we don't think it's a big deal, or we take that a child doesn't want to see a parent with no good reason at face value and wash our hands of it. Three, take it to the schools. This is so important. So educators know how to recognize this problem, can help kids deal with it. And this also goes into number four, and the most important one, making sure kids see it. By kids, I mean old high school students, university students, and young adults. This is so important because not only are they the professionals of tomorrow, but if half of the kids come from divorced homes, we can assume that a lot of them are dealing with this. And talking with young people, they have firsthand experience of either they themselves have been erased, a boyfriend, a friend, a cousin has been erased from a family member. And they know how traumatic it is. And the film is designed to be a message to inspire these kids to reconnect, to reach out. Now, how do you come as an ambassador? So you've signed up to be an ambassador. Maybe you followed some of our video calls, done some office hours, done the training. But just signing up to be an ambassador does not an ambassador make. You need to be booking screenings and lots of screenings. Let's say we get 100 community screenings booked and there's 100 people who go to each screening. How many people will have seen A Racing Family? Only 10,000. So that means I've spent 4 years of my life making a movie. We've raised over $400,000 to make this movie, and it'll be seen by maybe 10,000 people. And that's if we get 100 community screenings. Because as of right now, how many community screenings have we signed up? Zero. So we have 200 ambassadors who have signed up and no screenings. So I want to know what we can do to make this program easier and work better for you. But it also means as an ambassador, you have committed to 10 hours of work a month, the ability to do some fundraising, and that you're in a place where you can reach out to the community, as we have said so many times, without sharing your story. This isn't about you. This is about creating an event that people want to go to because it's a fun film, and they will come and learn about something, maybe something that's happening to them in a new light. And a lot of you have said, I want my kid to come back to me. And that's your motivation for doing this. But your kid to come back to you will have to take a risk on a parent that maybe they haven't had any contact with for years or decades, who've been told awful things about. And a lot of the kids, if they come back to you, it means they will lose the love and support of the other parent. So you're asking for that kid to take a big risk. But then whenever I hear, oh, I'm too embarrassed to talk about this issue. Oh, I don't have money to book a screening. Oh, I don't know how to invite people. Oh, I don't know. What is your child hearing? And even if they don't see this, they are hearing it. They are getting your energy. They're hearing, it's too hard, it's too difficult. I might as well give up now. I know you don't want that. And this might seem a little harsh because a lot of people said, I'm suffering. I'm just going to close the door. Some street noise. Sorry about that. And if you are suffering, if you are stressed, if you're unable to talk about this, if you are so ashamed that you can't invite people to a movie screening, you should not be an ambassador. You can volunteer with Facebook moderation. There's tons of admin help we need, fundraising, or just taking care of yourself. But if you can book at least one screening, this program isn't for you. You should be booking 10 screenings, dozens of screenings by now. This program has been started in September, and we have yet to book one community screening from the ambassadors. We have booked 2 pre-premiere screenings, one in Orange County by an ambassador named Michelle, and also Chrissy Smith hosting a screening, also pre-premiere screening in Pennsylvania coming up. We've also had 2 law firm sponsor screenings, one the Lane Project in Kansas City and Brian Lynn Merlar in Toronto. And we know from our Facebook group that there are tons of people who want to see this film. So obviously there's a problem, and I don't know what the problem is. Now, if you're saying I don't have money to host a screening, we have just lowered our prices for the post-release screenings. So that means starting in October, once the film premieres, and we don't have an exact date yet, it's only $250 if you have a screening in your house, in a church, in a union hall, in a school, and you don't sell tickets. And then all we ask is you do a donation appeal for a racing family at the end. If you want to sell tickets, it's half the ticket cut or $500 minimum guarantee. And if you're like, I want to use the film to promote my business, my own organization, I don't want to promote a racing family at all, it's $1,000. Then if you want me to appear by Skype or to actually go, that's extra because my time is valuable. But unlike a pre-premiere screening, I don't have to come or speak by Skype. Now, if you're still like $250 is a lot, book it for January, and you only have to like put aside about $10 a week to pay for the screening fee. And that will give you almost 7 months to organize it. And if you're really hard, we can work with groups and we can work on discount rates if people want the film to be brought to many different to their community or to host multiple screenings. Let's say you're a library and you want every library branch or each school in the district, or a synagogue has different outposts and different programs. We can work with you, but we can't hear excuses, because if $250 is too much, that's putting aside, like I said, $10 a week. That's passing the hat type of money. And why do we need this? One, we hired John, who's a community screening booker. We need to make sure that we're at least cash flow positive so he can stay on and actually book the screenings. And he is a very valuable member of the team. He comes from a lot of film background. And we do need someone who's working part-time, only 10 hours a week, to book and take care of all the logistics. But more importantly, a lot of people have said that when kids see this film, they're going to want to reach out and reunite, but they're not going to know how. They're going to need resources. They're going to need a text crisis line, videos, online support, books. And that is what the screening fees are going to. They're going to cover that. As I've said before, none of this goes to me or my salary. That's the speaking fees. I've been working on this for 3 or 4 years for free. So also when people say, well, I don't have money, neither do I. I am broke, and I accept that. But I raise the money by asking because I know what people need. They need this film, and I believe in this film. And if you don't believe in this film, if you don't believe that kids reuniting with their parents is a good idea, that is fine. But then don't be an ambassador. Help out another way. Take care of yourself. You can always come back. If there's a problem, if something isn't clear, if you need help, ask. But the excuses time is over. Because when you say an excuse, you're sending that message to your child. It's okay to give an excuse not to see me. It's too stressful. It's too painful. It makes me cry. I heard all these bad things. That's the energy, and that's not the energy we need. If you can't get people to come to a movie, how are you going to get your kids to come back to you? Join groups in local communities to put on these screenings together. Ask a friend who isn't going through this to help you. A lot of people are saying, I don't know how to book a screening, so I'm going to lay it out very quickly. One, you can find a group that already hosts screenings like the local bar association, the AFCC, the Association of Family Consultory Courts, another or professional organization of like mediators, divorce coaches, pediatricians, school counselors, the list is on, and ask them to host a screening, to basically sponsor the event. That's the easiest. And we have a lot of resources on our website to do so. But the other way, book a room. Ask yourself, can I use my living room? Do I have a friend I can use their living room for? Boom, you have a screening. 20, 30 people can fit in some big houses' living rooms. There you go. That's your first screening. Let's say you don't want it in a house. Do you have a friend who has a space you can borrow, like a restaurant during off hours, a conference room in a building, an auditorium, or a hall with AV equipment? Low-cost options. Go into Peerspace and look at low-cost options in your area that can host a screening. Churches, synagogues, mosques. They probably have rooms to host screenings and you're just renting from them. The local high school, ask if you can rent a room after school hours. And if they would be willing to send out an invitation to all the kids, parents, and school teachers after school hours, and then tell the kids free pizza if you show up. Who do I invite? Just start making a list of everyone in your area who you think could be interested. Send out an invite, follow up with a phone call. You can charge tickets. Also, if you're suffering financially, we have no problem with you taking part of the ticket sale and making this a fundraiser for yourself. That's totally okay. But a lot of ambassadors are saying, well, I'm going to go travel to see the film when it's there. I'm going to travel to see the film when it's there. Take that plane ticket money and that hotel money and book a screening. We need to multiply. It's not about you seeing the film. In fact, I don't care if you see the film. It's not for you. You know about this and probably you're going to cry and have a nervous breakdown when you see this film. The film is for the people who don't know and care about this issue. The film is for the kids who need inspiration to go back to their parents. The film is for the family court professionals who don't know about this or who know about this and say, I have no idea what to do about it, or they don't know how traumatic it is. We need to get the film out there. Remember, if we do 100 screenings with 100 people apiece, that's only 10,000 people will see the film. So we've had 700 people donate hundreds of thousands of dollars for a film that 10,000 people will see. And right now, we're not even close to 100 screenings. We're at 0 screenings. Again, if there's an issue and you need help, ask. Form a team. But the time to think about this is over. The time for action is now. If you're like, I need, it sounds a lot. Book a screening for January 2020. That gives you about 6 months to plan. So 6 months, let's say $250 divided by 6, that's like you're setting aside like $30 a month. I think you can do that, right? Then a little more for the room. And then you just have to like, each month, you just need to fill 100 people. You just need to invite 10 people each month who say yes, and then remind them when the screening comes. The other thing, people are looking for sponsorship first. Book the date. Without a date and a location, you will not get sponsors. And if it really doesn't work out, we can cancel. But we need to move forward. And yeah, this is a bit of a kick in the ass for the ambassadors because we have been doing this in September. So it's been about 8 months and no screenings. You're not an ambassador because you did the training. You're an ambassador because you go out there and you embass. I'm making up that word now. Getting a little sassy. This is what you do, right? You need to believe in the film. And then some people say, well, I need to tell people what's in the film. What if they don't go? What if they don't like it? Going to a film is not endorsing anything. If they don't like it, they can go to Rotten Tomatoes and leave a 0% review. They can walk out. They can throw a tomato at the screen. But if you see the response, and we're going to soon release a video of the response from the AFCC screening in Toronto, people love this film. They're moved by it. If anything, you're going to need to have a psychologist or coach at the screening to help people. And they have some of people are going to have mental breakdowns when they see this because they realize they've been erased and they never knew it. So remember, we need to book screenings. Pick a date, pick a place. If you don't know of a place, start with the people you know and ask who has a place that I can rent that's low cost or can maybe give it to me for free to screen this film in my community. Libraries often have free space. Community colleges often have free and low cost space. Veterans halls, union halls, churches, synagogues, community centers, town halls. Time for excuses is over. Book a screening. And it just doesn't stop with one. I was hoping by this point we'd have ambassadors competing with each other on who could book the most screenings. Maybe someone had 7, maybe someone had 10. We even have an awards problem, an award that we would give to whoever booked the most. And all I'm hearing are excuses. How would you feel if your child said, I don't want to see you because it's just too difficult. I don't know where to start. It's better if we stay at the same place. I told Noreen, and I was very clear, by July 4th, we need to book at least 10 screenings, or we just need to accept that this isn't going to happen. And we're going to have this beautiful film that no one's going to see. I'm trying with the big broadcasters and Netflix, but one, that might take a year sometimes for them to actually put it up. Two, they might not like it because it's controversial. Then what's going to happen? And everyone's going to say, why isn't the film coming to my community? Because you didn't bring it there. This isn't organizing a march or rally or a conference. It's asking people to see a movie. And I have to say, pretty goddamn good movie. I'm very proud of it. And the response has been amazing. And kids have told me how much it's helped them realize and heal. Because that's what it's been designed to do. I didn't spend 4 years of my life not earning a salary to make a crappy film. I guarantee you that. You've seen the trailer. And if you're still too nervous after all this time, maybe this isn't for you. If you need a support group, Noreen is starting one, and there's tons of support groups. Being ambassador is not about support. It's not about you. It's for the other people who don't know about this. So it's time to stop whining and complaining and saying I'm having problems and start looking for solutions. I don't know where to book a place. Start with Google and put in places in your area that have screenings. It doesn't have to be a movie theater. Because Noreen said, people said it's thousands of dollars. I said, what thousands of dollars? Your living room is free. Your friend's living room is free. Go to peerspace.com and look for places in your area that host screenings. Ask around. Art galleries can also be a good place. You could ask them for a discount too, or doing it at a time like Tuesday or Monday. So just hear Luisa Goribar, I contact the people in Houston, so we screen one. Great, but I don't know about Houston screening. We don't have a date. Remember, for a date, what we need is the screening form filled out, then we get a contract signed, deposit made. Until then, it's the same as nothing. And we are so willing to work with people if cost is the issue, but I really don't believe that's the issue. I just don't. Because we lowered the price significantly. And if it's going to be a screening of young people, we're willing to let you have it for free even. If you can get 100, I told Noreen, if you can get 100 people between the ages of 18 and 26 to show up, we will not charge for the screening. Because also, it's not about showing it to support groups, crying parents. They know what's going on. You need to show it to the people who don't know about this. And this is a chance to take control of your life and your narrative. That's the beauty of the ambassador program. The people who participated in the AFCC conference in DC said, this is great. Finally, I feel like I can talk about this issue because I'm not talking about my story. I'm doing something positive, and people respond positively to it. And I think a lot of people are just afraid of talking about this because they didn't know how to talk about this. So what happened was, they would just like get in these like kind of cycles and saying, stick to what we're giving you, the materials we're giving you, the brochures that we're giving you, and use that. So with that, I told Maureen, by July 4th, we really need to have about 10 screenings booked. That means contract signed, deposit made. Or we're going to have a beautiful film that no one's going to see. And that's okay. I've done my part, but I can't book the screenings. And if you're unable to go out there and book a screening, you can do research for other ambassadors. You can volunteer in other ways. But showing up on the conference call and talking to Noreen or emailing me all the time asking me questions, that's not being an ambassador. That's wasting time. And what don't you have as an enraged parent? It's time. Your time with your kid has already been wasted and spent. Take back the narrative. Flip the script. Take back your life. Start getting this film out there. Or stop making excuses and do something else if this isn't for you. Thank you so much for all of the support. And I really wish I could bring this film to everybody in North America and the world. But I need you to do that. Remember, how much do you think your community would change if 100 people saw the film? Instead of saying, I don't want 100 people, I want 1,000 people to see it. Okay, come on. Start with 100. Start with 10, but start with something. 10 is better than 0. 100 is better than 10. 1,000 is better than 100. But something is better than nothing. Thank you so much, and I really hope that we get screenings booked. Otherwise, I tried my best, and I'm at peace with that. But I don't want to leave your kids out there. So I'm counting on you. Do your part. Thanks.